And now things have settled down a bit, I'm hoping to do more videos. I'll be shooting a video soon which is a channel update and responding to comments. Meanwhile, here's a video I shot on the 27th of June. Welcome to another video. Now I'm a mini disc fan, not really an audio cassette fan, but I do occasionally like getting my Sony Walkman cassette player out and listening to some cassettes. But the ones I've got back from the 90s, maybe the 80s and the turn of the century were really misused, played in the car, left in the car, in the player. Players were never cleaned, and the first part of each tape is quite mashed up in a lot of cases. Some of them have got marks all the way along the tape, tram lines I think they call it. Now, I'm not trying to be Tony from Cassette Comeback, but I got these in a recent eBay delivery. I got these in a delivery quite a while ago from eBay, and this is one of the originals, and that one's alright, but a lot of these look in quite a mess. And when I do get my Walkman cassette player out, I want to listen to something which is as good a quality as possible, although it's probably been recorded from a digital source like a CD. So what I thought I'd do today is have a look at these ones here, and I've got two of these, so I'm going to unwrap one of these, and I'm then going to compare it with these, and I'm just going to keep a small supply of these so I can, when I want to put one of my favourite albums on a cassette, I can do. So first of all, I'm going to do this one and then we'll move on to this one. Okay, so let's have a look at this one first. I wonder what that's for. I suppose I've heard of C60s and C90s, but I've never heard of C64s. Well, that's a Commodore 64, but it's not a cassette. 74s or 46s. 45s maybe. Okay, let's get into this and see what's going on. Now, the reason why I sometimes want to listen to a cassette player is, well, first of all, I don't very often listen to albums. I'm more into playlists. I'm a bit fussy with my music, and there are lots of tracks. There are tracks on an album I like and tracks on an album I don't like, and I don't really want to listen to the ones I don't like. I just want to listen to my favourite tracks. But sometimes if it's a influential album, or I used to listen to an album back in the day all the way through, then it's nice to go back and listen to the whole album again. Now with a cassette, once you finish listening to the album, or once you're part way through the album, if you turn it off, when you come back to that cassette, it's still in the same place as it was. Whereas with a mini disc, if you listen to a mini disc and you either take the battery out to charge it, or you take the mini disc out of the player, with most players it won't remember where you were. Some of them will remember where you were, but most won't remember where you were in the album. So sometimes a well-recorded cassette is just enjoyable to listen to if I'm listening to an album. So it's quite a nice case, that. Quite a nice inlay card. It's upside down, I think. No, it's the right way up. But these are slim cases, so they don't think they're quite as big, quite as wide. No, they're not as wide as a regular cassette case. Unfortunately, it's that's been crammed in there a bit, so that's a bit bent up. That's all right. Now I'm not even going to bother winding it on. If you want to see that sort of thing and see what the tape looks like, then have a look at Cassette Comeback's channel. But apparently these Type 2 ones from Sony are pretty good. Certainly good enough with Dolby on it for what I need. I guess you're right on that bit, yeah. That's rubbed, well, it kind of rubbed off, it's been in the case, but that's just been sort of, I don't know how they get that on, probably, what do they call it, silk screened on. Yep, that'll do fine for that one. Okay, so let's have a look at these ones then. I can't see me being able to get into this without destroying the packaging. Oh, maybe I can. That came out easily. Oh, that's very satisfying. Okay, so let's have a look at these ones then. So these are slide out cases. Again, slim cases. And I like that window there, although it doesn't match up. Wish it matched up, that would just be nice. Now you've got this logo here. So do you know of any 74-minute cassettes? I guess they did make them because that was how much music you could fit on a CD. So it would make sense to have a 74-minute cassette, but the problem with that would be, unless the tracks are divided in half equally, you'd have one side of you'd be halfway through a track when you ran out of tape on side A, and unless you recorded the other half of the track at the beginning of side B, if you restarted that track, then you'd run out of space by the end of side B. Now I'm going to do a video recording music onto one of these using my Pioneer system, which is here. That's the wired remote for it there. And it's got a nice feature where when it gets to the end of the side A on the tape, it auto reverses to record side B, but then restarts the track that it was playing at the end of side A, so you get the whole track at the beginning of side B, which is quite cool. Okay, so let's get into here. It's a very long time since I undid the wrapping on a cassette. And they don't make it easy. This will probably be easier. So if you're into mini discs, do you still use cassettes? Do you record on them? And if you're into cassettes, do you use mini discs as well? What use do you have? Is there a particular reason why you use cassettes sometimes and mini discs at others? Oh, I quite like that. Ah, that's interesting. So that's wrapped. So there's nothing on that side. So the stickers are wrapped around the edge, which sort of keeps them in a good condition, really. Upside down. Yeah. Oh, so it tells you which sticker to place where. Okay, let's have a look at the cassette. So apparently this is how you're supposed to get them out. Ah, there's some sort of enclosure tab there. Cool, they're hard to get out. Oh, I like that. That's very nice. Those are the cutouts there that for the auto sensing mechanism on some cassette decks, it can sense it's a chrome cassette. That's very nice, I like that one. Where's the other one? Okay, so they're both the same cassette, essentially. Sony CDit II 90-minute. But I think this might have been for the American market. No, that's European. Well, it's made in Europe. And so is that one. Okay, so let's have a look at this box again. Oh dear. Right, okay, that's not going to last very long in my opinion. So those are the little things that hold it in the case. Can you see that there? Just two plastic bits on each side. You slide it in, they flip behind and then get caught in the spokes there. And, it stops the tapes from unravelling as well. I see. That's why it's hard to get out. So am I doing this right? Is there any other way to do it? There's also this enclosure here, and I don't know what that's for. Not an enclosure, a little notch there. Not sure what that's for. Let me know if you know. Audio compact cassette, I think that's what they're supposed to be called. So I'm not sure what that bit's for. It doesn't seem to do anything. Already scratched a little bit there, look. Same as mini discs, I suppose. Yeah, quite like that case. So let's compare the thickness of these two cases. Both the same thickness. Or if anything, this one is a little bit, tiny little bit wider, but there's a considerable difference, you know, versus the old one. Not too much, just a millimetre or two maybe. So I'm fascinated by the labels here. So that small label there goes on the spine of the case there. And then this label here goes on the end of the cassette case there. And then this big label here goes on the back of the box there. And finally these two labels here doesn't really say where they go, but my guess is they're very slim. Oh, there they go there. So nothing on the face of the cassette, which is nice. I like that because these are nice, very pretty cassettes. Okay, let's have a look at this one here. I think we covered this one already. That doesn't have any labels to go on the cassette itself. You've just got this part here to write on. Don't know whether you can erase that. I certainly won't be trying that out. And no labels on this one. No other labels, just right on the... It's not even a J card, is it? What do they call it? An L card? Brilliant. So I don't really know what I'm talking about with cassettes. I like that little mechanism there. So on a standard cassette box, it slots into this bit here. It doesn't flop around when you close the case. And on here you've got that little notch there, each side. It's actually cut out there. So that little notch there keeps it in the cassette box when you close it. And this part here, to make the case even slimmer, that's indented, so that's proud and that's indented, and it's flat on that side, so that's what makes it easier to put into a slimmer case, because you've got that ridge there, that bump there. You've still got it on that cassette, but the actual case is thinner at that part than it is at that part. I've just realised it's hard to get this cassette out here. And the reason for it is it won't fall out like that. The reason for that is it's got a tiny little ridge there which you obviously can't see. So there's a little ridge there that the cassette just sits behind. So it goes in these tabs down the bottom and sits behind that ridge there, and that's what holds it in. And the other thing I noticed as well, that's weird, that leader there, as often when I finish shooting something I then find something else out about the cassettes. Like this one here, I found that this one tells you on the side of the label how to get it out. Yeah, that doesn't have that on the leader on that one. But the funny thing is, they both had the same barcode. Both this one and this one have the same barcode on the packaging. Okay, well, I found that interesting. Hope you did too. Leave some comments if you've got any. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching.